Final race on Chevalier Cup Day, race number 10. We finish off with a Class 3 over the 1,400 metres. Headed by the debutant Captain Boss, who's a three-time winner in Ireland. Bulb was third at big odds on his last start. Power Max up to 1,400 metres. Chartin for the first time as well. Daring Fit behind Rattan last time out. Right Call goes back up in trip. A three-time course and distance winner. Royal Mojito run up over the 1,000 metres last time out. And down to Conti, who was very impressive on debut. Goes up in class and up in trip as well. Back to the touchscreen for the final race here, John, to have a look at the speed map. And it's Conti should land in front from a wide gate. Got up on the speed last time out. Was absolutely running away down the straight.
He was, and he doesn't have the wide gate problem to contend with this time round, so he's clearly going to get himself into a good position. Interested in these two a little bit further off the pace. Captain Boss, who had been going forward in his races in Ireland, and he gets the perfect draw to do just that here. And this fella, Power Max, he's yet to run at Chartin. He's run 12 races so far in his career, all at Happy Valley. Not a bad gate to see where he gets in the run in those early stages. All
right, so a few questions to work our way through, Brett, as far as this last race is concerned. What can you give us as far as track work?
Well, let's have a look firstly at Captain Boss, who, as John mentioned, was a noted leader in his races in Ireland. Drawn barrier number 1, he'll weigh in at 11.23 pound. I get the feeling he's going to take the run. I'll be interested in Jenny's report, but he looks like he could do with a good hit out. Paul Lally put this up quite a few times in the last month or so, Bulb Elite, and he ran a good race last start behind Time to Celebrate. I'd expect further improvement. That's certainly been the case in the mornings. And Conti's had a couple of gallops. This is one with Jolly Bountiful. He had one on the 20th as well of November, a solo gallop, which was nice, but just a quiet little piece of work there as he heads towards his second start, which is up in class and up in distance.
We'll have a look at Conti, that last start win as well in due course. First race we're going to have a look at, though, is that horse you touched on there, Brett, and that is Bulb Elite. A couple of starts, he's going around at big odds. We've already seen this race because this is the race that Time to Celebrate won. This is a big effort from him and allowed to go around at $65.
Yeah, he'd gone round at a very big price the time before that as well. Paul flagged him up. He flagged him up again here. I managed to get off the train, which was evidently a silly decision because he stayed on very well. And I think 1,400 metres again, the gate's a little bit tricky, gate 9, but I think that the more important factor is how quickly they go up front. And if there's a decent pace up front, he will definitely be staying on at the finish.
Yep, I've got him in the tips. I like the Time to Celebrate form, as we touched on earlier, so he goes in for me.
Yeah, solid efforts, and with Paul not here, I think we've all jumped on the bandwagon as far as Bulb Elite is concerned.
Don't think there'll be any 65 to 1 about...
no, possibly. It's still $25, though, $28 at the moment, so a solid sort of price. Couple to have a look at here. We've got Daring Fit, who's getting the run of the race down here on the rail. The other horse to keep on the right side of the home run's been very consistent home run. He's obviously covering a bit of ground wider out.
Daring Fit's got barrier 13 to contend with, but the other £7 claimer, Dylan Moe, goes aboard, so he'll have to work hard to try and cross. If he can get up there on the speed, he's had quite a few runs back. This will be his 5th run back. I'd expect him to give a bit of a sight, but he's going to have to work hard early. And as you touched on, home run's very consistent. He doesn't win out of turn. He's only had the 2 wins, but he's had 7 minors and 5 fourths. Zach Purton will jump aboard him for the first time, and he's drawn favourably. So he may even be able to sit a touch closer in the run. If that's the case, you'd think he'd look a chance in the stretch.
Yeah, I like both runs there, but obviously Daring Fit's got a bit more work to do given his wide draw and home run. It's been a model of consistency.
Yeah, and Rattan, the horse winning that race.
Very good, yeah.
Super performance. Yeah. And 4-year-old series has been spoken about for him. Power Max is the horse we're going to have a look at here. Obviously, Happy Valley, that's where he's done all his racing so far. Gets up in trip. I think he's an interesting runner.
I think he's very interesting. Yeah, I don't recall in the time that I've been in Hong Kong a horse that's run exclusively at Happy Valley for so long in his career before actually running at Chartin. 12 runs at the City Course, yet to actually run at Chartin. Gate 3. He has a run style which for me would be quite well suited here. So I've managed to sneak him in the numbers. I think he's an interesting contender. He's run some big races down there in the city.
You know, Conti's going to hold the majority of the market here, there's no doubt. You're getting a bit of, you know, inflated prices. I mean, $20 about Power Max. He's never finished any worse than 4th. Obviously, coming to Chartin's an issue, but I don't think it'll be, it might not be an issue. He's quite an honest galloper, and you're getting $20 about him at the moment. This will be a race where there will be some spec late, and he'll be one of them. Yeah,
I don't see a major problem with the trip either. There won't be, I don't think, for Conti. It was $1.50 here on debut, and really won like $1.50 shot the further he went as well. He just the better he looked.
He did, yeah. He's going to probably get a little bit of competition early. Joe will have to rev him up from the 2 to kick through and be prominent, John. But provided he gets clear running in the stretch, I think, you know, when he really opens up, he'll probably just be the class act and sort of race away with it, I get the feeling. Well,
he's gone up 9 ratings points. This is a fairly ordinary race that he won, albeit very convincingly. But the good news for Conti fans is he gets a much better draw. So at that pace in the early stages, he can use to really good effect here, and I think he's going to be tough to beat.
Yeah, it looked like there was plenty left in the tank, didn't there, last time out? All right, that's Conti. Admittedly, might have been the strongest field in the world, but you can just see his last 50 here. Joe's already setting up another 200 metres.
We're going to get a better guide on how good he is, there's no doubt. I mean, as you say, that was probably an inferior sort of competition for him, but there's some reasonable racehorses in this event.
All right, so what about this debutant here? And this is Captain Boss. Just having a trial. He's out wide. Do we like him for what we've seen so far?
Well, it used to be trained by Paddy Prendergast in Ireland. As Brett said before, he has been known to go forward in his races, and he has been running over these sorts of trips as well, which is definitely something to keep in mind. But I wasn't that impressed with this trial. He's only had 2 trials here in Hong Kong as well. So for me, he looks like one of those horses who's still possibly finding his feet in the acclimatising. Therefore, despite the fact he gets a good draw, I think he might just be best watched. If there's lots of money for him late, clearly that's probably the wrong assessment. But I think just to give him a run or 2 first.
Yeah, judged on those trials John mentioned and his track work, I don't think he's ready. Derek Lung rode him in both trials. Alvin Ung will take the ride. Derek wants to stick with Smiling Charm.
All right, Hailstones was his name in Ireland. That's Captain Boss. So we start off with a couple of short price favourites, and I think we're going to finish with one here as well. But Conti's going to be very hard to beat.
He's very hard to tip against Conti. He looks a particularly nice horse going forward, and I'm not going to tip against him. I've got Home Run In, Bulb Elite, and I think Daring Fit will work hard, but he's fit now and he should stick on pretty well even if he does work. So 14, 3, 2, 5, but yeah, Conti looks hard to beat.
Yep, similar numbers for me. Conti's going to go on top up in trip, better draw. I think there's loads to like about this fella's chance at Sha Tin on Sunday afternoon. Home Run's been a terrifically consistent conveyance for connections. Power Max, I think he can definitely ruffle a few feathers on his Sha Tin debut. And good old Bulb Elite, he'll be staying on while others have cried enough, and he sneaks in there. But Conti to win the last race.
Yeah. No arguments from me at all there. Conti, John Size and Joe Moreira. Now, speaking of John Size as well, as far as the stats are concerned, we're going to focus on John's records through November. And it's outstanding as well. He's really started to fly. Yeah, well, September and October, we knew that it'd be sort of, you know, just feeling the air or the water, whatever you want to say. But he's really started to gather momentum with 11 wins, 7 seconds, 6 thirds. 38 total runners, and there'll be more coming, I would think, on Sunday. Zero Hedges a chance. Not really confident about Nice Kick. Giddy's honest, but it's tougher. Arizona Blizzard's trial, well, he's capable. I think the second part of his... page looks good.
The second page is where the winners will be coming. Premier, House of Fun, Time to Celebrate, Ping Hai Star, Conti. The 2 horses that John's trumped for the meeting, Race 8 and Race 9, Time to Celebrate and Ping Hai Star. All right, well, there you go. That's John Size, the trainer to follow in November. As far as best bets are concerned, though, Brett, there's a few short ones. So what have you sided with? I'm going with Time to Celebrate, Andrew, for Joe Moreira. I think you'll get a reasonable price. Lightweight. It is a tougher race, but he looks very progressive. And in that straight 1,000-metre race, Matthew Pern aboard Super Turbo. Never tried the course and distance before. They'll hum early. If he does what he does at the Valley, then he might close over the top at a price. And in the first, I'm just going to go Super Missile and Lucky Quinella. I'm going to try and get something early. OK, best bet for me, the all-weather race number 3, High 5. You get everything run to suit, one would have thought, and I think he'll be staying on and doing his best work at the finish. And Mythical Emperor, nice light racing weight in that 1,000-metre dash. And the play of the day, California Joy and More Than Lucky, horses 1 and 6, a QQP in race number 9. All right, Legend Feet for me in race number 4, and his Barrier 1 should get the run of the race. Matthew Poon taking 7 off, looks good. Bulb Elite, Paul's not here, he'd have had this, so I've taken it for him. Bulb Elite's in the last there, and Call Me Awesome, Legend Feet and Red Elite say QQP. Work around them should be a return, but we're just about out of time, fellas. Looking forward to Sunday Chevalier Cup. Absolutely. No, it's a good day's racing, Andrew. As I said, 14 new horses, and I expect quite of them are fairly talented. Yeah, and a few short ones, but we'll hope to find some value along the way as well. John. Absolutely, and just 2 weeks to go now until the big day. All right, well, that's the show. Thanks for watching. On behalf of Brett, John and the rest of the team, hopefully we'll see you on Sunday at Sha Tin when we will be racing to win. Good night.